Hi everyone, so for this video I'll be going through how to draw quadratic functions using DESMOS. So over the right here we can see we've got our three quadratic function forms. Our standard form, which is y equals a x squared plus bx plus c. Our factored form, y equals a x take b times x take c. And our vertex form, y equals a x take b all squared plus c. So if we want to start plotting these graphs, we can put these functions over into the input area over here on the left. So let's start with our standard form. Type in y equals a x squared plus bx plus c. And as we can see, this gives us the option to add sliders for our a, b and c variables. So if you just want to click all, we can see it produces the sliders for each of our variables, with each one affecting the function in different ways. If we'd like, we can add in our other function forms just to see how changing these variables affects them in different ways. So let's type in the factored form at the bottom here. Y equals a x take b x take c. And our vertex form, y equals a x take b all squared plus c. Now if you want to make it easier for ourselves, we can change the color just so we can recognize which function's which. So if we go press this cog up there, we can go over here and change this one, which was red, this one to blue, and our vertex form to green, just so it matches the colors here. And then click done when we're finished. Now we can see that when we change A, it affects each form in the exact same way. It just affects the slope, with a larger number having a more narrow parabola and a smaller number a wider parabola. We also can see that when it's negative, it changes the direction. B, we can see affects each form in different ways, and that's the same case with C. So if you want to see how these variables affect the forms individually, we can hide our functions. So if you want to hide our factored form, we just click this little icon here, and our vertex form, we do the same for that. Now we can see just our standard form function. So if you want to move B, we can recognize that B just affects the position of the vertex here in relation to the y-axis. So when B is larger, it moves away from the y-axis, and when it's smaller, it moves closer and closer to the y-axis. C is a lot easier to identify. If you move C, we can just see that it corresponds to the y-intercept. So C is 2.5, it's intersecting at 2.5. Now C is 1, it's intersecting at 1. Now we can see what happens to the factored and vertex forms. So let's focus on the factored form now. If we go back to that function, we can click here to bring it back and hide our standard form. So here we can see changing B and C corresponds to the x-intercepts. Here B equals negative 2.5, which is there, and C is cutting in at 0.5. Now C equals 1, still 1, and B is the same. Now finally we can see how B and C affects the vertex form function. Just going over here and bring that up and hide our factored form. Now moving B, we can see it moves from left to right, and C down and up. Now what we notice here is these values of B and C correspond to the value at the vertex, just here. So we can see that B corresponds to the x coordinate of the vertex and C of the y coordinate. So if we adjust B, the vertex moves. Now it's 1.5 at the x coordinate, and we can change our y coordinate. Now it's 3. This is probably the easiest form to create and manipulate the curves that we want. when we're making our art in the future. So that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope this has helped you to get a basic understanding of how to draw quadratic functions using DESMOS, and to be able to start to explain how and why changing these variables affects how the graphs look and how they behave. Thanks.